Saturday. It is time for Monday Club. What's up, everybody? This is Gus Davis. With me, as always, is my bestie, Pete Bois. We are going to have an amazing Monday Club for you today. Guys, today we are going to be talking about super dad ingenuity, Photoshop do's and don'ts. We're going to be talking about crazy stuff from the road. Pete gives us the Super Trooper Challenge, and we're going to talk about the firstiest of the first world problems when it comes to travel. Everybody buckle up. It's time for Monday Club.
It's Monday!
Cheers, my friend.
Cheers, bro. Cheers to Monday.
Cheers to Monday. How you doing, man?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm okay.
Being held together by a duct tape and gum?
I'm being held together by glue and tape right now, but whatever. I'm good. I'm the same awesome guy. I still party. I just drink through a straw now. It's cool, whatever.
Yeah, helps numb the pain.
Yeah, it really, this Monday Club is definitely going to help numb some of the pain. I'm sure it's good to mix this and all the painkillers, right?
Right. That's on the label. They say mix this with alcohol. It will help.
Yeah, I thought that's what I read.
Yeah, and then go dry.
Oh yeah, there's no driving in my future. Anyway, man, dude, I'm actually really good. I've got a bunch of fun stuff that we did this week, and even though, just to jump ahead in the show, I actually went to the doctor for all of my injuries that I've been talking about on Monday Club, and it turns out
Wait, you have to say your motorcycle injuries, because that's badass. You were in a motorcycle wreck.
I was in a motorcycle wreck, doing a sweet jump. The jump was awesome, but the landing not so great. So, but the doctor said that after some x-rays that I definitely separated my shoulder, tore a ligament in my wrist, and have a bone contusion in my ankle. So all of the previous Monday Clubs where I was sitting on the floor or had just moved into a new studio and all that stuff, all of that, we're going to just say that was not the best idea.
That
medically
sounds
speaking.
terrible. A bone contusion.
Yeah, it sounds worse than it. No, it sounds exactly like what it is.
Well, man, I hope you heal well. I hear beer and whiskey help the healing process. So we'll
that's
help
what
you
I
out
hear
today
too.
with that.
Thanks, man. Yeah, but seriously, I'm as happy as I have ever been, and it definitely doesn't hurt that today is Monday and that we're cheersing to each other on Monday. And to the rest of you clubbers out there, one more time, cheers! Happy Monday!
Cheers. And also, besides being Monday, because you can always cheers to Monday, you sent me some videos from Reddit of creative dads dadding. So we would like to cheers to these dads for carrying the torch of creativity and laziness.
Dude, before we get started, let me just ask, when you saw these videos, did you believe for a second that there was no alcohol involved in this? Or did you think this was some dads getting together and being like, oh, hold my beer, I'm going to take care of my kid real quick?
The baseball, probably beer was involved with that. The other two seems like there was too much workshop time to be had to get them done, or at least one of them.
Yeah. Well, so here, let's jump right into it. Let me talk to you. Let me say exactly what these videos are. And obviously they're going to be posted on all our social media stuff. Here's the deal. These dads obviously got fed up with having to work to be a dad. So the first video is of a dad who has hooked a little red wagon, like one of the radio flyer wagons, to an RC car, and he's just using the super high powered RC car like a horse and buggy to drag his kid around so he doesn't actually have to bend down and work at all. He's just using the RC buttons. And I think that deserves a round of applause. Like,
yes.
Good for you, man. Good on you.
That is incredible. The smile on the kid's face is crazy. But we need to talk about a safety level. This is way safer than attaching your dog to it, right?
I think so.
You do not have remote control over your dog as well as you do an RC car.
Well, let me ask you this. Does that turn it into a motorized vehicle? Like, can that kid get pulled over for speeding or something like that?
I think so. Yeah, it's driving.
Yeah, I mean,
how much power would this freaking little RC car? This thing has some major tires on it. How powerful do you think that would have to be to pull? What is that?
I don't know, man.
30-pound kid right there.
And the wagon. I don't know, man. But I've seen I've seen some RC cars that could go so fast that they could actually and they had big enough tires that they could actually go around on water. So they're going, I don't know, 50 miles an hour, 60 miles an hour. So there are some RC cars out there that are beasts. And if you're a dad and you got one and you don't want to take your kid out for a walk, man, hook that up to your RC car and a wagon, and there you go.
Yeah, he totally needs to have a lawn chair with an umbrella and a cocktail, sipping on his cocktail while he's controlling this thing around the yard.
Yeah, if you've got a pretty flat yard and a hammock, it seems like you could combine like all of your needs, right? You could take your kid out for a walk, you could play with your RC car, and you could lay in the hammock drinking beer. You could do all of those things at the same time. So kudos to you, dad engineer.
Yeah, which brings us to the next video, which is pretty much what this guy is doing. This dad, he has a fishing pole, and attached to the end of his line is a baseball, and his kid is all dressed up for Little League with his bat, and he's holding it so his kid can hit it. He's sitting in a lawn chair. His kid hits it, swings, ball goes flying, and then he just reels the ball back in. And he does it again. Talk about T-ball for lazy people.
This is genius. This is absolute dad genius. I cannot give this man a higher score of dadding than what he has earned, because he's in the shade. The kid is super excited and all dressed up for Little League. Like you said, the kid's got the hat and the jersey and the shoes. He is ready. And this dad, instead of standing out there in the field and worrying about the kid missing and having to go get it or bending down to pick up the ball, he doesn't have to worry about any of that crap. He is literally sitting there holding the fishing pole, sitting in his lawn chair. He's to the side of the kid, so there's no chance of him getting hit. Kid hits the ball goes flying, and he just slowly reels it in, and let's do it again, kid. It's great. Like, I cannot tell you how proud of you, Dad, I am. Good job.
Yeah, and also, his chances of getting hit in the balls with the ball has decreased to 0, and also, well, maybe not. He could still get hurt.
Much
here.
less.
There's potential danger to him.
But there's much less.
Much less, yeah, because he's not out in the field. There's a potential bat flinging danger, so, He should have put up a little wall in front of him for complete safety.
But I gotta say, his chances of getting hit in the balls are much, much less from standing out in the field or softball low pitching it to his kid and all that stuff. Anyway, yeah, that guy, you're awesome.
Yeah,
and
good
you
job,
made an
Dad.
awesome video. So check that out on our page. The last one, do you want to set this last one up? Because this last one was your favorite.
This one is my favorite because for many reasons, but it's just funny looking. All right, it starts off with a picture of a garage, and then out of the garage comes this kid flying on a little radio flyer tricycle, and behind him is his dad chasing him. And what is propelling this kid on the bike, on the tricycle, is a freaking gas-powered leaf blower. He's flinging his kid around with a gas-powered leaf blower. And it's hilarious looking. It looks like a lot of fun. I do have to call safety into concern here because this dad has ear protection, this dad has eye protection, and this dad has a helmet on. And his child has nothing.
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Yeah, he's just sitting in a plastic toy, getting blown around and losing all of his hearing.
Yeah. He looks like he's having a blast, though.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's how you make memories, is have your dad strap on his Ghostbusters proton pack and blow you around in the front yard.
Totally looks like a Ghostbusters pack.
I gotta say, though, that this dad clearly does not care about his neighbors at all. Right? Like he is not concerned about what his neighbors think of his parenting skills in the least, because you're calling attention to yourself. They're in their front yard. You are definitely calling attention to yourself by just running around down the street wearing your leaf blower pack and blowing your kid around.
Oh, man. Well, cheers to all three of these dads. That's a big Monday Club toast to you. That's incredible. What's the laziest thing you've ever done as a dad to keep your child entertained?
Man, that is a great question. The laziest thing that I have ever done as a dad. Oh, crap. I guess it is... Man, you put me on the spot.
I did.
Dude.
I'll tell you, I haven't built, give you time to think. I haven't really built up my repertoire yet. My son's not even 2 yet. So my laziest thing might just be when he's in his playroom, I just lay on the floor and fall asleep. And then, but he thinks it's fun because he'll come and jump on me, and then he'll like straddle my chest, and he'll just like jump up and then like slam down on my stomach. And then that's upsetting, but he likes it, so I let him do it.
I will say that's funny. I will say I know I've done some lazy stuff with Bryce, but I think one of the times that I don't know if I regret it or not, but I definitely know that it happened. We were playing hide and seek one time, and I hid in a place that I knew he wouldn't find me, and I definitely took a nap. Like I just knocked out, and I remember waking up to hearing him being very sad because he had been calling out for hints or saying, "Okay, I give up," and I was asleep at the back of the closet, covered up with clothes, and I was out.
That's awesome. Oh, poor Bryce, though. Jeez.
Yeah, and he was pretty young, too. He was like 3 or 4, so in his brain, I just literally disappeared for a little while. But I'll tell you, God, this is a terrible story.
He's going to have issues with you not being in the room.
I know, like abandonment issues. Here's how jacked up my brain is, though. Not only did I fall asleep and wake up to hearing him on the verge of tears because he couldn't find me and I wasn't responding to any of his like, "Hey, so the game's over, I can't find you, you win, come out." But then my first thought wasn't, "Hey, this poor little guy, he thinks I disappeared." My first thought was, well, he's got to move further away so when I leave this hiding spot, he doesn't know to come and check this the next time.
You were trying to preserve your hiding spot?
Yeah, it was a good hiding spot.
That's diabolical. Oh, I can't beat that. I'm sure I will in the coming years. I will try hard.
There you go, man. Well, you got a lot to live up to, Pete, but I'm sure you can do it, buddy. So what are you drinking this week?
Cheers to our drinks, right? What am I drinking? I'm drinking I've had this before on Monday Club, my all-time favorite pale ale, Funky Bow G-String Pale Ale. It's brewed 20 minutes from my house, and it is my all-time favorite pale ale. It's delicious. I buy it all the time, and it makes me feel good that they're local, but it truly is my favorite pale ale, so I frequently drink this stuff.
Well, that is awesome. I know this is going to be a good episode of Monday Club because we're both drinking some of our favorite stuff. I am going straight to the whiskey, folks. I'm drinking one of my absolute favorites. It is not that expensive of a scotch, but it is definitely one of my personal favorites. I can't recommend it enough. It's Tool, and it's called the Gentle Dram, and it's the 10-year age. They have a 12 and a 15-year, but the 10-year is my favorite. It's a little bit lighter. It's got just enough peat in there so that you can taste the spice, but it's not too heavy. And the Gentle Dram also makes a cigar that pairs with their whiskey. So, like, on a perfect night for me, having one of their nice little Maduro cigars and pairing it with this 10-year Tool Gentle Dram Scotch whiskey. Whew! It's a great night.
What is dram?
Yeah, that's... Dram, I think, is sort of synonymous with making you sleepy.
Gentle sleepy?
Yeah, it's a gentle sleepy. Yeah,
it'll make you sleepy.
It'll calm your nerves. It'll react well with the codeine that you're taking for all of your injuries and make you go to sleep.
Gus, is this the drink of choice when you're playing hide and go seek?
Yes, it is.
Oh, son, you want to play hide and go seek? Let me go get some Gentle Dram. I'll be ready for you.
You always win when you have the Gentle Dram. That's right, son.
I hate the Gentle Dram. Well, thank you guys so much for listening to Monday Club and being part of the club. We really appreciate you all. We love you guys and gals. Thank you for listening, being part of the club. Make sure you go ahead and tell a friend or two about us. We want to grow the club, so expand. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, contact us via Gmail, mondayclubpodcast@gmail.com, and Facebook and Instagram, all that stuff at mondayclubpodcast.com. You can find it all there.
Yeah, it's time, boys and girls, ladies and gents. It is time for us to have a serious sit-down talk. Listen, if you're listening to this, then you know that Monday is the new Saturday. And it's important that you share that with your friends. I see on all of the social media all the time, people are always looking for, hey, I'm bored with whatever podcast I'm listening to. Does anyone have any recommendations for another podcast I can listen to? And it is your duty, my friends, as signature members of the Monday Club, to just say, yeah, join the club, grab a drink. Remember that Monday doesn't have to suck. It can be awesome, and grow the club with us. So thank you guys again for listening. Y'all are awesome.
I second that, Gus. So I was driving around this past month, and I had a show in northern Maine. And on my way home from said show, I stopped at a rest area, and I found something hilarious. There was a convertible parked right next to the gas station, and sitting in the back of the convertible were two giant-sized stuffed animals. They were so huge. The reason why the top was down is that they wouldn't fit inside the car if the top was up. And they were bungee corded into the back seat. I took a picture of it. I'm going to post it to our Instagram and Facebook so you guys can check it out. Just hilarious. Two little cute or huge cute stuffed animals sitting in the parking lot.
So did you make up a story as to what was going on with those stuffed animals, like why those were in the back of their car?
I did not. Do you have a good story?
Well, no, I mean, I'm just guessing that either they went to a carnival and the dude won ring toss or broke all the bottles or made all the basketball shots and won him and his girlfriend two giant stuffed animals, or he went to a store somewhere and they were like, look, $200 and you guys can have the biggest stuffed animals. Cause those, I'm looking at the picture right now. Those really don't fit in that car. I mean, they're huge.
I don't think they fit in any car. Like if they didn't have a convertible, if they say they had a Prius, there's no way they're taking those home.
Oh yeah. No, absolutely not. Not in a Prius. So yeah, I don't know. I see things like that and I always think to myself, well, what strange series of events led there to be two ginormous pandas stuffed into the backseat of a convertible? And thank God it's not raining, because seriously, they wouldn't be able to get those pandas home.
I almost asked. I did see the guy and the girl that were driving the car get in, and I almost walked over to them and asked them, what's the deal? Why do you have those? Where'd you get them? And how can I get them?
It's a blast for them to drive down the highway with those giant pandas. So
imagine going home, picking all the bugs out of their face.
They would too, because seriously, they're above the slip screen of the front window. So yeah, check that picture out. That's you get 10 imaginary bonus points from Monday Club for taking that picture from while being on the road.
Yeah.
So kudos to you, man. So one time, James and I were on the road. We were in Minnesota.
James is our amazing sound engineer, for those of you who don't know.
Yeah, kudos, James. So James and I are on the road. We're in Minnesota, and we stop at a Target, I think, to pick up some supplies for our show that night. And at the Target, I round the corner, and there is the toy display. And at the toy display, they have freaking Hobbs. Like, from Calvin and Hobbes, they have the tiger, like the stuffed tiger that looks exactly like when he's not real, not imaginary real, but the stuffed tiger of Hobbes. And I'm like, oh my God, Hobbes! I gotta get this for Bryce. So I get Hobbes and we put him in the back. Now, prior to going to Target, we had gone to the liquor store. And so in the back seat, we had some Jack and Honey and some Jim Beam and Honey and a bunch of other like shot glasses and stuff like that. And just to be funny, I take Hobbs and I buckle him into the seat belt. and I put the other pieces, like the alcohol bottles, I put them around Hobbs, and I put Hobbs's arms around the 2 bottles of alcohol. So it looks like Hobbs is being chauffeured, like just chilling in the back. So we go and do our show. Our show's a late night show. We don't get finished till about 1 o'clock in the morning. We finish the show, we pack up, we drive back to the hotel, and we get lost on our way back to the hotel. And as we're lost, we're going down this weird side street. I'm speeding because I'm looking at the map trying to figure out where we are. And a cop does a U-turn and pulls us over.
You've got to be kidding me.
No, seriously, I swear to God, it's a true story. So we pull over, and the cop comes up, and he's like, "Hey, you were going 45 and a 20." And I was like, "Oh, yeah, man, I'm sorry. I'm not from around here. We're just trying to get back to our hotel, and this wasn't the right hotel." And the guy's like, "License and registration." I'm like, "Oh, shit." So he takes my driver's license, and he walks past our car with his flashlight on. And he stops, and he comes back, and he looks in the back seat, and there's motherfucking Hobbs just chilling in the back, holding on to the bottles of alcohol. And the cop just starts laughing, and as soon as he started laughing, I was like, "We're getting off of this ticket! We're getting off!" So he comes back, and he's run all my stuff. He's like, "Guys, you don't have anything out. Just be careful and don't go fast anymore." I'm like, "Yes, sir. Just trying to get back to our hotel." So forever and for all time, Hobbs has gotten me out of a ticket.
That is an amazing story, Gus. You get 10 extra bonus points for that story. Monday Club bonus points.
Thanks, buddy.
Wow, that's incredible. Now, there's an important detail that could have changed the story completely. The bottles were uncracked, right?
Oh yeah, no, we hadn't sipped anything.
Yeah. So what if you had like they were last night's bottles and they were like half empty? You would have totally gone a sobriety test.
Oh, probably, but we would have been like, "I don't know, man. Hobbs is the one holding them." So
not me.
I mean.
Oh, wow. What else have I been up to? I had a new photo shoot for my ghost show, Summoning Spirits. It's getting Halloween time, so I'm going to be doing a bunch of that show in October, and so I want to get some new badass promo to promote the show, and so I had a new photo shoot for that. I felt back in the first couple of photo shoots I ever did in the early part of my life, you feel really self-conscious, right? Like, it's weird.
Photo shoots are the absolute worst, man. They really are. Because, honestly, I'm good with how I look, right? I look in the mirror and I'm like, yeah, all right, you're good. You know, you're good to go out and do your stuff. But when you do a photo shoot that's supposed to be 4K pictures for you to send out or put on websites or whatever, you look at the same, like, I don't know how you do it, but I do the photo burst. So you take like a bajillion pictures, right? And you look at yourself and basically, you can do a flip book because in each picture, you haven't moved that much, and your job is to have to decide which smile looks the creepiest or looks the best between being creepy or being too smug, like you just farted, right? Yeah. And so you have to sit there and look at yourself over and over, and every time you look at yourself, you're like, "Oh, well, I didn't know I had a hair that was right there," or "I don't like the lighting on this one eye," or like it just gets ridiculous. So, is that what you experienced?
Yeah, well, there's that. There's two parts of it. The first is the anxiety leading up to the photo shoots because, you know, you're usually paying a photographer, and then you get everything set up. You got your costume. You've had your haircut or whatever a week before, so it grows in just perfect for that date. And you're trying to get everything just timed and perfect, just right. So you get these, like you said, these 4K photos that like will last years, you know, a few years, hopefully not too many years, because we've all seen that picture that 50-year-old magician took when he was 25, and it does not look, and he still uses it.
Hey, look, shut up. I'm pretty sure some of my business cards still have me with hair. So, so you can shut your face right now.
Get yourself a photo shoot, man. It's the thing that gives me a ton of anxiety is leading up to a photo shoot, because you just spend this money and you try to get it right. And then in the midst of the photo shoot, you're like trying to do an impression of like a model or something so you look badass in the picture or cool or funny or goofy or whatever you're going for. And I usually do settle in, but it takes me about 20 or 30 minutes to kind of relax. and get into it. After that, I kind of play the part and whatnot. And then, the afterwards going through each picture, trying to figure out which one looks the best. And that's going to represent you and get, like you said, get that right smile, because there's like a quarter of an inch between a creepy smile and like the perfect sly, mysterious smile.
It's the worst, man. That where you get presented with, I don't know, 100 of these, like, hey, here's the 100 best, pick which 6 you like. And I hate that, because you sit there and you look and you're like, well, in this one I look like I'm trying to look through a keyhole at someone doing something naughty, but in this one I look like, hey, I just found your card, but I hate you. And like, it's hard, man. It's hard to find those pictures out of all of those that you took. So did you have a photographer come in and take photos of you, or did you do it yourself?
I had a photographer. I have a couple guys I use for my videography and photography up in Portland, and I use them because they're fun and cool guys, and they're reasonably priced, and they're probably way more expensive, but they like me, so they probably kept the price reasonable for me. And usually they do a lot of outdoor shoots, so they didn't have a studio, so I set up my backdrops in my basement, and he came to me to do the photo shoot, and I have lighting here, so I kind of provided a bit of it, of the equipment to get it done. You know what the weirdest thing is? When you're looking, you could have a picture, right? You have the same exact look on your face, smile, in these two pictures, but one picture your face is dead and one picture your face is alive. You know that look? It's like the X factor in pictures. You're like, you look at this, you look like you're looking at you're looking through somebody, like your soul is dead in this picture. And then this picture your face is alive, and you're like, wow, that kind of jumps out at the picture, but you don't know exactly what it is. I don't know exactly what it is.
Yeah, no, it is weird, and it's weird that one picture taken 0.4 milliseconds after the previous picture would cause that effect to happen, from being where it looks like a waxy two-dimensional picture of you to it looking like a dynamic, you're a magic god or whatever you're taking a picture of. Man, did you have anyone give you direction, or did you like storyboard your photo shoot? Because the last photo shoot that I did, it was really funny. We got a couple of entertainers together. We had a photographer, and we set up a backdrop, and we were like, all right, look, every person just come over to the office. We'll set up all the lighting, all the backdrops, all of this stuff, and each person gets 15 minutes to just to get up there and hold stuff up or be dynamic or whatever you need to do, but 15 minutes, and then we'll pool all those pictures and we'll have everyone just pick their favorite promo shots. And it worked, and actually we've kept most of those photo shoots or photo shots for the last 5 or 6 years. In fact, we just decided this year that it's time for us to update all of our promo shots. But it was funny because we had somebody who was there who kind of directed us, like, okay, so this one, I want you to look like you just did something. Okay, now look like you did something but suck less. Okay, so look like you did something but be in an action photo. So we actually had a little bit of direction, but I've seen a lot of people who do photo shoots, and they get up there and they're like,
Sorry.
Hey, look, pause, because it sounded like somebody was in my house. Hold up.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
All right. Gus is going to check. If we hear a big thud, how do you call 911 for Austin, Texas? That's a good question. Someone should email me that. Actually, that'll be way too late.
Hello?
Hopefully we don't hear anything back. I'm getting concerned. Where is Gus? Gus is coming back. He's checking again. He comes back. He sits down. He's smiling.
Okay. So I was in mid-sentence, and I quite literally heard voices in my house, inside my house, and that was creepy because no one's supposed to be here. So I opened the office door, and I walk out into our hallway, and Shannon, while she was here, was trying to be nice and literally closed every single door that's in our house. And so it was like a game of Resident Evil. I just opened every single door and was like, kicked open the door and like looked around real quick and was like, hello? Okay. Well, don't creep around in my house. Like it was super, super creepy. Okay, where was I? Each person got 15 minutes, and I'll tell you, it was cool, but having a director, having somebody who actually tells you what to do and has a vision for what each photo that you're going for is, makes a huge, huge difference. So
I did not. You asked if I had a director or storyboarded.
Yeah.
I did that. I didn't direct. I didn't have a director. I storyboard kind of in my head. I just kind of think, what are the pictures and poses and looks that I want to go for? This is for the Summoning Spirits show, so I bought myself a badass freaking leather jacket and kind of had some scruff on my face. I wanted to look kind of like badass, almost Ghost Rider-esque, you know. But I didn't do the chain. Don't worry, I didn't have a chain on. So I put that on and just was trying to look badass, like I was talking to ghosts or something. And that's about it, really. Although my director, I'd kind of direct myself, because after like a burst of pictures, I'll just go over to the photographer and we'll look through him on his camera, so I get immediate feedback, which is great, because there was a day when digital photography wasn't a thing, and you had to wait like weeks before you see what you looked like in the pictures.
Dude, I was wondering if we were going to bring this up, because yeah, my first photo shoot, one, it was crazy expensive, ridiculously expensive.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
two, you just had to trust that whoever was taking pictures knew what the hell they were doing, because my first photo shoot ever was exactly like that. They had not a digital camera. We spent 30 minutes together. I mean, I don't know what number I spent on that, but for the age I was, it was all of the money I had. And then about 3 weeks later, I get the proofs to check out, and I just had to either love them or hate them. I mean, I had no sense of what was going on. Whereas, yeah, like you said, with the digital age, you can take a couple of photos, go back and look and be like, oh, I see, no one can see my eyes. All right, I'll raise my head for these next ones.
Yeah, and you have to pay like per exposure too. So per like roll of film. And my first photo shoot was like that too. That's why I never, but now it's basically time for the photographer to do his or her thing. So I remember setting up these shots so carefully. Every shot was meticulously planned and lit and everything. And like my pose was practiced and everything. And he's like, all right, now, and we'd sit there and the photographer would be like, all right, give me a little more smile, or no, do this, do that, do this, you know? And so, and then you have to hold that pose, you know, and then it becomes stale and your face becomes dead.
Right. I think this is the week that I will post some pictures from my very first photo shoot. And what's hilarious is I'm pretty sure, because I found these the other day and I was wondering when I was going to post them, but damn it, it's Monday and let's do this. Go big or go home. I'm pretty sure that in my very first photo shoot, I actually was wearing some giant Nike tennis shoes, like basketball tennis shoes.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
all right. Yeah, I've committed. I'll post that. You check it out.
I cannot wait to see these.
Well, let's see. I sort of teased this earlier in the show, but I actually broke down and went to the doctor. I haven't been getting any better as far as my wrist, ankle, and shoulder are concerned. So I went to the doctor, and the doctor did some x-rays and found out that, yeah, I seriously jacked myself up, like I said earlier in the show. And what sucks is that I had to go through all of the stuff that I guess all Americans are going through with healthcare. It's like I called my primary care doctor and was like, hey, I seriously think I jacked myself up crashing on a motorcycle. And they were like, oh, that's cool. We can get you in October to come and see us. And I was like, yeah, I mean, like, I'm pretty sure I broke my shoulder or my wrist, and they're like, yeah, October's the first time we can see you. I was like, all right, well,
what?
Any other ideas? And they were like, well, you can go to the minor emergency center, and they can take pictures of you and x-rays and stuff. I was like, cool. So I went to the minor emergency center, and the minor emergency center was like, oh, yeah, so you do have insurance, but the insurance you have without getting a referral from your doctor means that we're just going to charge you our normal fee and have it go straight towards your deductible, which my deductible is $3,000. So really, it didn't help me financially at all to go do this. And anyway, it just got weirder and weirder from there.
Wait,
so,
quick pause.
Anyway,
What is a minor emergency center? I've only heard of emergency rooms.
No, so
this like urgent
the hierarchy goes, so urgent care. Yeah. So the hierarchy goes hospital, urgent care or minor emergency center, and then the bottom level is
walk-in.
Where you go see your doctor.
Oh, what is walk-in the same as urgent?
No, because I guess so. I don't know, but usually the way I remember it, you could walk into your doctor's office and sit there all day, and eventually they could work you in. But apparently that's not a thing anymore.
Because I rather go to, I hate setting up appointments. I rather go to the walk-in clinic. Usually I get seen quicker by just going to the walk-in clinic and being seen by a random doctor.
Man, I'll tell you, insurance is such a racket, dude. It's like some people have insurance where walking into one of those minor emergency center or urgent care centers, it's like a $40 and you're done. Sometimes $600, like probably in my case, and sometimes it's free. I mean, it just really depends on what your insurance situation is. Anyway, if you're out there and you're struggling with insurance, man, I feel for you because I'm in the same boat. Screw insurance. It's got to get better.
Boom.
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 Getting political and shit.
Oh, hell yeah. Oh. We are your respite. We are your escapism from all this political shit happening in the world right now.
Oh, and we really are. Like, we had a long talk about, hey, do you want to talk about any of this shit? And we're like, nah, let's just drink and have people have fun on Monday. Because everybody out there, our hearts are with you, man. We feel you, and it's got to get better, right? It's got to get better, and we're doing our part to make you laugh, and, Monday Club.
Yeah.
Woo!
Exactly. We had some stories, but we have some more in this week's segment of Hey, it's time for Stories from the Road. I think our whole show's this segment, so whatever.
That's pretty much true. Yeah.
I was on the road this weekend. I had a show in Hattiesburg, Mississippi, and I started my traveling off going to Manchester Airport. And when I got there, I checked in and got my ticket printed, and I'm A-list preferred status because I fly a lot, and I usually get my ticket, and it usually has an A boarding group. For those of you who don't fly Southwest, A is good, C sucks, right? You get to board quicker when you're A, so you get to choose your own seat. There's no assigned seating. And I didn't get printed out a boarding pass. I got a security pass that said, go get your ticket at the gate. And then
that's always trouble.
Yeah,
that's always trouble.
And it didn't have anywhere printed on it that I was A-list, and I was like, "Oh my god, I'm like a regular person." No. And so I check in and I go to the gate, and they're saying their A-list computer, some whatever, is all screwed up. And so they put a little stamp that said I was A-list, but I could only board after all the A's had boarded, which was about 60 or so people. And so I didn't get my seats that I normally get. I had to board with all the peasants, the proletariat. Is that what we're going with?
The common folk.
The common folk. I didn't get my pristine aisle 10 or 12 window seat on the left side of the plane, or right side if you're looking at the cockpit. And so that was a little upsetting, but I got there in one piece, and that was good. And so I get to now I booked my hotel on Hotwire because I save a shit ton of money. And I get to the hotel. It's a 3-star hotel, 85% positive ratings, and it's the Radisson. I get to the Radisson in Louisiana. I flew into New Orleans. It's noontime. And I go up to the desk and do my normal spiel. Hey, and I smile real nice, saying, because I know I'm trying to get in early to a room because check-in time is usually 3 or 4 o'clock. And, I say, oh, I know I'm early, but I have a reservation for tonight. Didn't know if you guys had anything available. You could squeeze me in early. And she's like, well, check-in time is 3 o'clock. I was like, yeah, I know. I didn't know if anything was ready right now. And she's like, no, check-in time is 3 o'clock. She's like, and she didn't even check. That's the worst. She didn't even check. She did not check if there was a room ready to get me in, right? She's just like going with the rooms. There are no rooms. And I'm like, so immediately I do the what you do. You say, okay, I'll just wait. She's like, oh, do you want to get some food? I'm like, no, I'll just wait over here. And so I sit down and I put my computer out and everything. And I like put my feet up on the couch and I start like typing away. And eventually she comes over to me and she's like, oh, it's about 20 or 30 minutes later. Oh, we just had a room available. We can get you in. And I was like, oh, great. Awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And in between this time, I was like sweet talking her from the couch. Not like, just saying like, hi, oh, how's your day going? Small chatting, trying to like make her realize that I'm a human being and just want to
You're not a number. You're not a returns number. You're a human being.
Exactly. And then she's like, yeah, it's just a $50 early check-in fee.
What?
Exactly my reaction. I was like, are you serious? $50 for 2.5 hours? And she's like, yeah. I'm like, what? And then I was like, well, I'm just going to cancel this. There's a Holiday Inn across the street. I'm just going to get something there. And she's like, well, you booked it on Hotwire. They don't allow you to cancel. I was like, well, I book with them a lot. They do allow me to cancel. And then I get up. And I really don't want to move hotels because I'm here and it's all paid for and everything's good to go. And I'm like, and then I started to appeal to a reasonable side. And I was saying things like, do you really think it's reasonable, $50 for a couple hours? I'm literally going to go in, take a shower and leave. I have to drive up to Hattiesburg for business. And I mean, do you really $50? That seems outrageous. And she's like, well, you booked your hotel on Hotwire. You saved a lot of money. And I was like, yeah. That's not my fault that I'm smart and you guys put hotel rooms. If you don't want to sell hotel rooms on Hotwire, don't sell hotel rooms on Hotwire. Don't put me in the shitty Hotwire hotel room. Put me in your regular hotel room that gets regular service. I don't want special service. I want regular service. This is my rant. Sometimes hotels will do that. They'll put you in the shitty hotel room. I had a hotel room. Oh, now I'm going off. I'm going off here.
Bring it, Pete.
I had a hotel put me. I don't know if I told this story before. Put me in a room, and as soon as I get on the bed, I'm like, oh my god, this thing is so hard. It literally hurt to lay on the bed more than 5 seconds. And I called down. I was like, are these the same beds in all your rooms? This bed is really hard. And they're like, oh yeah, all the beds are, and I'm just thinking to myself, what is going on? And then they come to tell me that this is the room they put all their military and Hotwire guests in because the military probably has
military and Hotwire guests.
Yeah. And I'm like, so you're putting guys coming back from like Afghanistan used to sleeping on sand in this room. And then come to find out, I eventually get a call from the manager who I had spoken to. And he's like, I'm very sorry, sir. I'm new here. I did not know about this. Apparently all the beds were changed in the hotel room except for that room. And yeah. Every mattress was a brand new, amazing mattress.
They have a fuck you room. They have a, we hate you. We're going to put you in it's basically brick-lined mattress shit room.
Exactly. And what's even worse than putting Hotwire guests in there, they were putting military people in there, people who serve this country, put their life on the line for our freedoms. And they put them in there. And he told me, we just replaced all of our Sleep Number beds with regular beds. So this was a Sleep Number bed that didn't work anymore. It had no air in it. It's a freaking air mattress with no air. Oh, I was so pissed off. Anyways, I digress. So
oh my God.
I'm trying to get out of this $50 early check-in fee. And eventually she says, well, they're going to yell at me, but I'll do it anyways for you. So she did waive the $50 fee, and I got in because I was nice and appealed to her more reasonable side. And I told her, I asked for her manager multiple times, and she's like, oh, he's not here. And I'm like, well, can I call him? And it was immediately after that she finally let me in. And I tweeted out to Radisson saying, Kristen at the front desk in Louisiana is the most amazing person ever. And I gave her amazing reviews and stuff on the survey they send you, because look, you shouldn't yell at your employees for making a guest feel at home. That's ridiculous.
Dude, so many things about that story. I mean, the rest of the show could be about specifically that, man. But one, anyone who's coming up, anyone who's younger than we are right now, coming up in the entertainment or travel world, man, my heart goes out to you, because everything is going to cost you money. People are trying to scrounge for the best way to screw you out of all of your money. I was doing some research for one of our shows as to some new survey questions. Do you know how much it used to cost to rent a room at Motel 6 when Motel 6 first came out?
$50.
$6.
Oh, $6.
That's why it was a Motel 6. It cost you $6.
Was that by the half hour?
Nope. That was how much it cost to rent a room. And I say that because now everyone's hurting for money. Everyone's scrounging for money. And so this early check-in fee is bullshit. That is somebody who said, hey, look, how can we screw somebody out of their $50 if they show up early before 3 o'clock? I mean, it clearly says 3 o'clock is when rooms will be ready. Screw that. How many times have you ever been to a hotel where at 3 o'clock the room wasn't ready?
Yeah.
Like,
they should start paying me.
Yeah. Is there a reciprocating way for you to get money? Anyway, that makes me so frustrated that people are getting screwed out of their money that way. So anyway, man, if you're out there and you've gotten just bent over by this kind of rule, I'm so sorry. We went to a IHOP recently, and at the IHOP, they set down, I ordered coffee, and they set down a quarter-size coffee pot, like just super, super small coffee pot at the table. And that was weird, because usually I go to a lot of IHOPs, and usually it's a full-size coffee pot that they set down at the table. And I realized, oh my God, somebody out there realized that at the end of the service that there was still coffee in those coffee pots that they had to pour down the drain. And so they're saving millions and millions of dollars by just giving you a small coffee pot, because in the event that you don't finish your coffee, they're not wasting as much. And that same idea translates through everything that every industry is doing right now. They are cutting every corner that they can and charging their customer as much as they can. Because you, Pete, you paid for your hotel room. You showed up to the hotel, and they're basically saying, hey, yeah, if you want to get into your hotel room, since you booked this way, we've got you by the short hairs, and it's going to cost you $50 to just take a quick nap and take a shower before you have to hit the road.
Yeah.
Like, man.
And my hotel room, I paid like $80 for it like $70 on Hotwire for it. So it was going to almost double the cost of the hotel room.
Yeah,
for
just so you can get in for the 2 hours that you actually had to spend in your hotel room. Oh my God, yeah. I'm so sorry.
And I didn't even get back to the hotel till after midnight, and then I had the 6 a.m. flight, so I only got like 2.5 hours of sleep anyways in that room. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
I've only run into that one other time. I think it was in Minneapolis. It was at like a Marriott, and it was like a $20 check-in fee. Which now it sounds $20 reasonable, But I put up a big fuss, and they said, "Well, if you sign up for a rewards program, we can waive the fee." And I was like, "Okay." I was already a member of the rewards program. I just put a different email, so
that's funny.
Yeah.
Well, one time I showed up at a hotel at, I think it was 3 o'clock in the morning. And it was one of those times where you stop at a hotel because literally if you don't stop at the next hotel that you go to, you're going to die in a fiery crash on the road. So I pull in, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. I am delirious. I'm at that sleep stage where every time I blink, your blink takes a couple of extra milliseconds. So it's like micro sleeps. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
Like, it's the worst.
If I just keep my eyes closed for 1 second instead of a millisecond, will it really matter to my life?
Right. So I pull off into this hotel, and I had booked it online to make sure that I could just pull in, grab my hotel key, and pass out. And I was only going to get like 4 hours of sleep anyway before I had to hit the road and keep going and make it to my next stop. And I pull in, and I go to the front desk, and the chick behind the front desk is like, yeah, I'm sorry. I see that you booked, but I'm doing the audit right now. It's going to take me an hour and a half to do the audit before I can finish the audit and check you in.
What?
And I'd already booked, and I was locked in. I had already paid my money. I couldn't get a refund on it. I was like, all right, well, I'm going to sleep on your couch, and you just wake me up and let me know when I have a room. And she's like, well, sir, we can't let you. And I was like, yep. Sleep on your couch. And I just walked over. I literally put earplugs in and rolled into a ball and laid on the couch for an hour until she finished her stupid audit. And
what a fucking dumbass! They could have totally let you into the room, right? And then checked you in, done all the paperwork after the fact, right?
I mean, you're talking sane reason, sir. That's not where they were coming from. They couldn't figure it out, and I was like, fine. I'm gonna fart on your couch a lot.
Oh man, that is our ranting for the for Monday. Hope you guys enjoyed our ranting of fucking stupid hotel rooms. Jeez.
Yeah, well, we're all gearing up. All the entertainers in this country right now are gearing up for orientation season. So we're all all of this is very visceral and very close to home. So let's shake that off and get into some fun shit. So Pete, when it comes to hotels, do you have any games you play at hotels? Like when you get in, is there anything that you do that you're like, haha, that was funny, or anything like that?
No.
All right, well, good talk.
Yeah, good talk.
For me, this entire next season is all about checking behind pictures and underneath lamps and just anything that can be removed from the hotel, picking up and looking on the backside. The very first time I started playing this game, I lifted it up, I pulled one of the paintings off the wall, and there was a folded piece of paper in there that somebody had signed and dated and drew a picture of a dick on. And I was like, yay!
That's hilarious.
Now,
do you leave things behind? Oh
yeah. Now I leave a signed, folded up piece of paper. Just you grab one of their stationary note things by the telephone. I sign it, I date it, and then I put $1 in there, and I say, go ahead and go get yourself a snack from downstairs, and I put that behind one of the loose paintings. And it's been beautiful going through and picking up anytime that the paintings come off the wall, picking them up and checking behind them and seeing if anybody left an Easter egg. So that's my new favorite game to play in a hotel.
Cool. You should post the addresses of all the hotels you stay at and room numbers so I can go to them immediately following you and get a lot of money.
Dude, I will. I will start. I'll send you the message.
I do actually play one game. It's called Check for Bedbugs. I play this game a lot, and so far I've never won. And I'm happy about that.
Yeah, you should be, because bed bugs are no joke. Like, screw those things.
Yeah. So I have a game for you. I have a Monday Club challenge for you, Gus.
Okay.
I am presenting this challenge to you and me. A few years ago, I played the Super Trooper game on stage. I was bored, and I sent out on Facebook saying, I want to play the Super Trooper game in my show. Give me words or phrases. Post them in the comments section below, and I will use those and work them into my show. And I did that, and it was one of the most fun shows, for me anyways, that I've ever had, because I had crazy phrases that I can't remember now that I worked in a ton of them, and I had a fantastic time. So that's my challenge to you. Next show you have to throw it out on Facebook. Say, give me a bunch of random shit to say during my show, and see how many you can get in.
Dude, I used to play the same game with Emma. First of all, challenge accepted. But I used to play this game with Emma when she was our tech person. We would get Emma and one of the student activity leaders to come to backstage before the show started, and I would ask them for a word, any word, and the challenge was to work Emma's word and their word into the show at some point in time so that it was seamless, it made sense, and I'd say 90% of the time I could nail it, and it was great because I would say something, and in the back, only one person would just be cackling, laughing, and it made me so happy. But it kept the show fresh because everything everyone was saying, I just kept it in my head, what I was trying to work in, and tried to make it work. And so, yeah, it kept the entire show feeling like it was quick and live and stuff like that. So, challenge accepted, man. I will definitely do that. I will have James as my witness, double check that I actually worked something in from your challenge.
All right, I'll do this. I will try to record my show. I have a show tomorrow night in Tennessee, so I will try to record this show, and maybe I'll have video evidence for you, and we'll see how many. The more you can, we'll do the grand total. All right.
Okay.
The grand total is the winner. Say you get 9 suggestions and you work all 9 in. Okay, there's got to be something. But say you get 20 suggestions and I get 9 and we both work them all in. I guess that's kind of similar-ish. So
okay,
but,
all right. So put the challenge out there and see how many you can work in.
Yeah.
Okay,
done. Cool. And that takes us to
Teachable Moments.
Still love that.
It's a good jingle. It really is. It's catchy.
So on my way to New Orleans, or my whole New Orleans Hattiesburg trip, I started up my vlog again. I kind of took a month-long break because it's so time-consuming. And traveling with like a DSLR camera is freaking annoying. Trying to vlog on the road is so difficult because I've got my show in a 50-pound case, and then I've got my clothes luggage, and then I got a backpack, and then you have a camera, and it's very difficult. So I'm like, screw it. I'm not taking any camera equipment. I'm just going to vlog on my phone, my iPhone 7. And that's what I did. I vlogged the entire trip on a freaking iPhone, and I haven't posted it yet, but I think it came out great. The audio suffers, a little bit because I don't have a badass audio microphone on there, but I think this is the way to go. Just freaking shoot it on your iPhone. I don't need to buy any fancy Sony RX100, although I really want that camera, which is a nice compact camera. But yeah, I shot on my phone. So there's my teachable moment. You don't need fancy camera equipment to make videos, to do the shit you want to do. If you want to get stuff out there on YouTube, you probably have an iPhone, or you can probably find a cheap-ass camera, and it's going to look really good. It might not look like frickin', Hollywood, but it's going to look frickin' good, especially when you can put it into iMovie or Final Cut and mess with it a little bit. So, just shoot with what you have.
Dude, my first photo shoot that we ever did was done with like a 2-megapixel camera. And that was what the professional brought to the photo shoot. And so now any phone that you have, I think the front-facing camera is probably better than that. So just remember that you can, if you're interested in doing video editing or doing photos or whatever, honestly, the thing that's in the camera that's on your phone in your pocket right now is better than most of the cameras that have existed previous to now that didn't cost $40,000 or $50,000. So yeah, man, definitely explore the potential of your own cell phone camera, because that's the iPhone camera is the number one camera in the world right now, because so many people use it and work with it.
Yeah. So it's pretty very good camera.
It is. It really is. All right. So my teachable moment for this week has been to ask for help. So people on social media, you guys are freaking amazing. And this week I got my doctor's note that, hey, you're seriously jacked up and the best way to heal is to not move. And I put that out on social media. I was like, hey guys, I just moved into a new house and I have boxes everywhere and I'm not supposed to move. Can anybody help? And I had some people show up to my house. I have a person who's a professional decorator who came to my house, took out all of the photos and artwork that we have and completely redid and decorated our entire house. Our house looks amazing right now. And quite literally, I sat on the couch covered in ice packs watching her do all of this amazing stuff. So you have such an amazing, if you're part of this Monday Club, you have an amazing social network. Put it out there. If you need something, don't stress about it. Put it out there and be like, hey, I need help editing my photos. Can anybody help? And I guarantee you somebody out there will jump in and be like, yeah, man, I got you, and take care of you. So thank you, Dan and May Indris. Y'all are amazing for coming over and hanging all of our artwork and decorating our entire house with our art. Our house looks amazing, and I can't thank you guys enough while I'm on the sideline injury bench.
That's really sweet. Would they fly to Maine for this?
I don't know if they're that cool, but yeah, sure.
I have to second that, man. Ask for help. That's always been a downfall of mine. Is I don't know if it's pride or self-reliance or afraid of what people think of me for asking for help. I think that's maybe hurt me in my career over the years because I think I have to do everything myself. So that's a really good one, man. Just ask.
I am the exact same way. I never ever ask for help. Like, I was outside mowing my grass after we had moved in, and I mowed my entire grass with a separated shoulder and a torn wrist and a bone contusion in my ankle, and I'm just out there. I was suffering, but I was like, oh, but I gotta do it. And after I posted that, people were just on me. They were like, dude, freaking, I would have come to your house. It's like, pay me in pizza and beer, and I would have just taken care of all that for you. I was like, oh, yeah, that would have been much smarter than, like injuring myself worse. So, yeah, guys, you're part of the club. Ask me for help. Once I recover, I'll come out to your house, and I'll help you out. You just
Sure
give me a
thing.
call.
Yep, definitely ask Gus.
Guys, have a great freaking Monday. We love you. Thanks for being part of the club. We'll see you next Monday. Hey everybody, thank you again for listening so much. We want to make sure that you know all of our digits. You can hit us up at MondayClubPodcast.com, Facebook.com/MondayClubPodcast. Twitter is at MondayClubPod, Instagram at MondayClubPodcast. Email us at MondayClubPodcast@gmail.com. That's also where if you want to buy us a drink and get a shout out on the air, you can do that through our PayPal. It's the same one, MondayClubPodcast@gmail.com. Special shout out to our main man, Mr. James Caldwell, working so hard on our show for being our sound engineer, and all of our music is provided by Mr. Zach Holder. See you guys next Monday. Thanks for being part of the club.